Alright, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday carry people. It's the Big Canucker here, and I've got something that is so damn exciting. Oh, look at my hair. Holy cow, I need a haircut. Turn into a long-haired hippie. Which reminds me of a little story. I can't remember who the heck was his name. Oh, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas guy. He was oh damn, I wish I could remember his name. Anyways, he ended up running for sheriff in one of his little small town, I think it was in Wyoming or something where he lived in, and the sheriff that he was running against, the incumbent, was a guy who had a brush cut. So the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas guy shaved his head completely bald, and he referred to his opponent as my long-haired opponent. That was back in the hippie days. I just thought it was absolutely damn funny. And I wish I could remember his damn name. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Anyway, I'm getting a little off topic. Focus. Damn, I love this knife. The Spyderco Para 3 and Maxivit. I didn't think that... I was quite excited to get this knife. I felt like a little bit of a kid. And because I ended up getting a little bit sick, I'm not going to say sick, or just maybe the bloom was off the rose a little bit about the Paramilitary 2. And it was a good knife. It cut well. It had a good shaped blade. Ergonomically, it was good. His fidget was pretty decent on it. I didn't think that I would like this Para 3 as much as I did, considering it is, I'm not going to say it's a shrunk down version of the Paramilitary 2. It's got its own kind of plus and minuses here too as well. But I just love this thing. Like, man, oh man, it's just not left my pocket since I've got it. I've cut a schwackload of stuff with this Maximit, including some indoor-outdoor carpet out of my camper, a pile of rope, a pile of cardboard, and this Maximit 3, I've basically kind of stropped it up a little bit, and it's just unbelievable. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the tabletop. We're going to have a look at the hits, the misses of this, and everything in between. All right. So first of all, let's get the old size thing out of the way. Does size matter? I don't know. Ask your wife. But I can tell you that this is about a 3-inch blade. This is your Delica, and you would think that your Delica. There's so much in competition with this knife here, including a real freaking hidden gem, the Sage 1. These all seem to be around the same thing. So this is not... I wish I could have something a little bigger, a little bit smaller. Well, we could do... let's go. Here's a PLR and D2 that give you an idea of what the size is. So it's not a big honking massive knife. But man, oh man, I think this thing has got a lot of heart. Yes, and I had somebody ask me, what was it better ergonomically, the Sage 1 or the Para 2, or the Para 3, sorry? And I gotta say, damn, it's so hard to pick a winner here, really. Just the touch to it, like the tactile sensation of the handle materials, I like this because the carbon fiber, it's nice carbon fiber. And but when you put them in your hand, they're close. They are so damn close. It's scary. But I would have to say that the Para 3 beats this out by about 3%. Like that's how close it is. But I'm in love with this knife here right now. It is so much more satisfying to flick this knife in and out, I think, than the Paramilitary 2 right now. And let me kind of get to some of the specs on this too, all right? So the overall length is 7.24 inches long. The closed length is 4.29 inches. And of course, your blade thickness is 1.145 or 3.7 millimeters. So it's got kind of a nice thick blade here. Oh, I got some schmeg on here at the end of the Maximit blade. But it tapers to not as thin as a point overall, I think, like the Paramilitary 2. It stays thicker for a longer time. And it is kind of a graduated this way too as well. All right, so now the tip is 4-way tip, tip up, tip down, left and right carry. It is the spoon clip, much to a lot of people's chagrin. I know people really like that wire clip, but I think this is a good choice for this. And let me tell you why, because I do believe that this is a little more hard use than the Sage 1, and I think this is a tougher clip than that wire clip is. And that's just my opinion here. And also, I think it always seems to fit really, really nice inside my hand. I'm not sure if you can see that, but you can see how it seems to just kind of mold into the knuckle of the fat part of my hand there. and it is very, very comfortable. This clip seems to be hid very well in my hand with this particular iteration. Now the blade length is 2.95 inches, and that is good news to a lot of people out there who are having places where they live where they've got knife laws. All right, so a lot of times you can't carry something over 3 inches, otherwise Johnny Law is gonna be putting his hand on your shoulder and put you in the clink. All right, now the edge length is 2.62. Doesn't seem like it. Seems like it's lots of edge on here. Like I've cut a lot of stuff with this blade, and it is done extremely well. Now the handle is the nearly indestructible G10, and inside there you've got some nested liners that, of course, are skeletonized to save a little bit of weight. Now, speaking of saving weight, this is 3.4 ounces, so it's not a heavy bugger, but it is heavy enough that because sometimes you want to have things with a tiny bit of weight to it that makes them feel solid, makes them feel like you've got something of substance. Well, this is heavy enough to feel like it's something of substance, that it's strong, but it's light enough that it's not going to sag down your pockets or be uncomfortable to carry if weight is a huge key. Now, it does have the fully flat blade, and it is fairly thin behind the edge too as well, because it does cut really, really well. It cut, like I said, I cut a bunch of rope with this weekend. I cut a whole pile of indoor-outdoor carpet, and I cut a whole pile of cardboard this weekend, and it just came back for more. I mean, I have not put this to stone yet, and it is like, whew, like she is hair whittling. She's hair popping sharp. Don't know if it's hair whittling sharp. Haven't really tried it, but all I've done so far with this is just strop it on a wooden, almost like a balsa strop here, and it's like sticky sharp. No problems there. Now, the reason that this here is so sharp for so long is this has the Maximate steel. Now the Maximate steel is, they call it a micro melt steel, and specifically designed to be in the rollers of hot rollers of steel mills, I do believe is how they put it. It's a high-speed tool steel. So it is not, so it will develop a patina if you don't watch it. Like, because I live in such a dry part of the country, we're almost a desert here, I don't worry too much about my blades rusting when they're put away. I still like to put a little bit of a something on there too as well. And most of the time I'll put like a fine polish on there. I don't really oil up my high carbon blades or my blades that have a patina on them, but you can see that this, I'm not sure if you can see, but you can see that there's a little bit of schmutz on the blade, and it just seems like it's a tiny bit discolored. So it's already started to develop a little bit of patina, and that's just from having fingerprints left on it, because there is a little bit of oil or acid in your fingerprints, and they will discolor the blade. And I mean, I don't want to spend 10 times, 20 or 30 minutes a day just making sure I wipe the blade all the time. If it's going to get a little bit discolored, it's going to get a little bit discolored. I will, if you're going to cut stuff like apples and oranges and fruit with this, and you don't wipe off your blade, you're going to get a patina. And there are lots of folks out there who will give this thing just a patina right off the bat. They'll take it and they'll dip the blade in like a vinegar, or even like a apple cider vinegar, and it'll put a nice patina on the blade, and then therefore you don't have to worry about it. You've always got a patina there. So Bob's your uncle. Me, I happen to like the fact that it's nice and smooth, and I'm not going to acid wash this or put a patina. If it develops a patina, I think I'll just leave it, and over time it will show that there's more and more of a patina. Now, let's have a look here. Now, it is, just like the paramilitary, it is the compression lock, which is one of the best locks out there, and one of the best locks I think Spyderco makes. Now, it's extremely strong. It's extremely safe, where, as in if you're closing it, your fingers are not in the way of the blade path. Sometimes you've got like, a liner lock or a Reeves integral lock where, yes, your thumb can get in that blade path. This one you can close without it. And it'll spider flick like crazy with your thumb. With your thumb or your flicky finger, it'll spider flick. So the fidget factor is extremely high, and it is extremely comfortable. Now, I have got I'm like double XL or XL hands, and I can put a full 4-fingered grip on this, behind the little 50, almost, it's like a 60-40 choil here. But when you put that choil up there, I've got more than enough room, and your hand automatically makes that, you've got that big thumb wrap here with some great jimping on it. It just makes that cutting, that bear down cutting position so nice. And then you've got also the ability to make some fine cuts with this knife too as well. So there's all sorts of possibilities. Now, I just don't know, one of the funny things about the Paramilitary 2 when I first saw it was the fact that how big that handle was compared to that blade, right? It just seemed like it was wildly out of proportion until I actually put it inside my hand and I started working with it. And then I was incredibly impressed. And I am impressed with this Paramilitary 3. That's got the same ergonomic philosophy, or you've got, you're almost like you're designing from the hands out. But it just seems like when you've shrunk the proportions this much, it just seems like it's a little bit of a better package, at least in my estimation. I think I know fans of the Big Bang Theory out there, when Sheldon was talking about the smaller the package, the more concentrated the fun. Well, in this particular case, I think it's true. The smaller the package, the more concentrated the fun. I think this is fantastic. Now, looking at the back of this, you've still got, to me, I love having a lanyard hole. And a lot of people were saying, why wouldn't you have a smaller lanyard hole in this? It looks kind of goofy. I really like the looks of that large lanyard hole. I think it just gives it, a really kind of a beefy look. It just seems to be the right size to match that hole. Now, I don't know if there's some sort of Fibonacci sequence between the size of this hole and the size of this hole that makes it more pleasing to the eye. But if that hole was a little bit smaller or bigger, I just think it would not be as aesthetically pleasing when you're comparing it against those two there. And that's just my opinion here. A lot of people out there have said that they don't like it. Hey, I happen to. The other thing that they wish they had done is actually taken this and perhaps made a smaller lanyard hole, moved it, and moved this clip up. Well, yes, because you do have a little bit sticking out of your pocket, but you know what? It's not like, this amount of sticking out of your pocketness, I don't think that's the end of the world. I think when you're starting to look at above an inch sticking out of your pocket, that's when you start to think, well, maybe this thing's a little bit too, goofy. Where this one you've got, 3/4 of an inch sticking out, I still think that you're totally fine there. And it gives you, lots to hold on to. I love my little lanyard here with my thumb and my finger, and you can see where my lanyard keeps coming apart. I'm going to have to retie this bugger, and I'm going to have to re-glue it. But it's damn comfortable, and I love this knife. Now, would I recommend this knife? 100%. Do I recommend that you get the Maximate? No, because I don't think the Maximate is totally warranted with this knife. It's warranted in this particular iteration because I am a collector and have this channel, and I want to bring stuff that's a little bit different, and I have not had or tried a Maximate bladed knife, and so far I'm extremely impressed with this Maximate. Haven't had a chance to really sharpen it a lot, because that could be where I change my tune and say, holy cow, this is a pile of crap. But so far, really, really liking the edge holding ability. It is very, very stable edge. I guess, I cut a bunch of zip ties with this too as well, and there's been no chipping whatsoever. So we'll find out how it lasts. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would I rate this? I think it's a 9 out of 10. I think it's fantastic. I don't know what I could really, really pick apart on this knife, what the misses are. The hits are numerous. It's comfortable. It cuts like a demon. It cuts forever with the Maximate steel. The flipping on it is so fun. The fidget factor is extremely high. It's extremely tough. It's got a nice, thick blade of 3.7 inches. The 60-40 choil gives it lots of fine motor control. It's still with the nested stainless steel liners. It's in the nice large lanyard hole. It's still extremely a tough knife, and is extremely comfortable. I don't know. I don't want to say it's a 10 out of 10, but damn it, I'm trying to think where I could really knock this knife. And so far, I can't think of any place where I'd really want to knock this knife. Hell, let's give it a 10 out of 10. This is the first thing that I have reviewed that has been all hits and no misses. So if you disagree with me, leave it in the comments. That's why part of the reason I do this is I love to hear from you guys. Now, if you like what you saw and you like what you heard, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up as well as subscribe. I appreciate it so much. I'm getting close to hitting that 1,000, and I've got a big interview coming up. I don't want to say it is until it actually gets here, but it is something that I'm quite excited to do, and I'm a little bit nervous too as well. That's coming up next week, but I'll get that to you as soon as possible. So, thanks so much, guys, for coming by and saying hello. Please, please, please stay safe. We're not out of the woods yet. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.